Good morning. How are you? Out here in Montana, it is a rainy, nasty sort of weekend, and it's the 3-day Memorial Day weekend here in the States. So I'm sure that there are lots of you who are going to catch up on this during the week. But let's talk about the solar flares. Because the solar flares have been holding your attention and navigating through those have been working really well for you. So let's continue with that, right? So over this last week, it's interesting to watch, Pam Youngin's daily report because what she'll do is she'll say, there were some solar flares probably between 10 and 15 C class," which goes to speak it speaks to the idea that the C class flares have gotten so normalized that whether it's a C1 to a C9. It's kind of like there were some C's and then there were some low M's, nothing really to report. And I thought, wow, that really let that sink in. So a C class is a tap, tap, tap on the shoulder, like you have something that we want you to work on, or something that is nagging you. You're not in integrity about something, or it's not working, right? An M class is where there's a tower moment where something that you were attached to, something you were thinking was working, is not. And it's just crumbling down around you, right? That's normal now. Now it seems like we're measuring the high M classes or the X class flares, which is when everything, all of our cells start to energize. The radio bandwidth around the world goes down. And according to, so I keep saying this every week, according to Andrew Bartzis, when we get into an X class, the top of our head comes off when we go into imagination. I'm going to say it's also when our observer is just absolutely free to be whatever we want to be, whatever we want to see, right? So fairly normal, not a lot going on yet. Those of us who've been tracking them are feeling this steady boom, 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 boom of energy, and we're unsettled. It's not working. And so what I'm going to say is that this bombardment of the steady seas is keeping us present. It's keeping our cells activated, even though we've normalized them. So we're having this daily feed of something that's keeping our energy going, which means that those who are still unaware of flares or fighting with the flares, or not comfortable with them, are still going to continue, of course. However, those of us who've been normalizing these and playing with the energy and seeing the opportunity, we are now just sort of like, yep, steady energy. Okay. So the key to this is to embrace all of the experience right now, all of it, right? So what we want to do is we want to keep these flares in front of us, and we want to keep working with them. We want to keep looking at what is it that they're going on, because I'm going to work with the lights here stick today, because they're doing something. They're bringing some magical. There's another one over here. They're bringing some magical energy in, and then what we get to do is we get to sort of look over the whole scenario and go, what do I want to do with this? So I love how these two blend together, because what it's saying is I have a new perspective, I have a new idea, and I'm not sure where I'm going to go with this yet. And so what I'm going to focus on today is the queens of the deck, because they seem to hold this make no assumption, just stay where you are, or be present in who you are, right? Because our observers are awake. Whether we want to, I'm just going to put it out there. With the solar flares, our observers just woke up. They're starting to take it all in. We're free, and we're getting insights right and left. They're coming in, right? And so when I'm thinking of insights, I think of the Queen of Swords, because she's now has a lot of perspective. She has a lot of ideas. She's sitting up on top of a very tall outcrop, or castle, or whatever we want to call it, right? And she's pondering. She isn't in action. She isn't in worry. She's just looking at, I wonder what I'm going to do next, right? So what happens is that we're paying attention to what we notice. We're paying attention, especially to over this long weekend, to the people that we're gathered with, this sort of these traditions. Maybe we all do family barbecues. Maybe we go camping with a group of friends. Maybe we stay home and get a jump on our garden. I mean, like whatever it is, there's these traditions that we have here in the States around Memorial Day weekend, which is a 3-day weekend. We have Mondays off, right? So there's a lot of societal practices and norms, and we're in it, right? There's tons of sales, people shop. There's I bought all my perennials yesterday because they were on sale 25% off. It was like, yes, okay. So pay attention to what you notice. What is it that's grabbing your attention and pulling you in the direction that you want to go? Because right now you're laser focused. I love this. And then when we want to combine this with, this is the Queen of Swords, we want to combine with this with the Queen of Earth, is that she knows exactly what's going on and she's holding on to this with a beautiful sense of who she is and sense of peace. So these two queens are really holding it beautifully. So we have joy, we have frustration, we have a whole lot of energies going on, because as we're laser focused, we're also paying attention to what's working and what's not working, who's in alignment, who isn't in alignment, and we're sort of sorting. And that sorting process is, it can be painful, it can create dilemmas, it can also start to cull away the things that have been distracting us for years, the things that have gotten in our way. Because what we're doing is we're embodying clarity and wisdom, right? And we are also have a very, very low tolerance for anything that doesn't work anymore. So we have this clarity for, what's authentic, what's aligning, what do I want to create? Because our cells are being pumped with all of this big light. And so I like to look at both of these two. So we're going to go to the Queen of Wands. She's aware that there's light coming in and she's playing with it, right? She's starting to comfortably work with it and see what it does. And then here on the water, both of these are the alchemy of fire and water. She's playing with the light and bringing it into her field and bringing it into her world, right? So when we take all four of these queens, right? What happens is that they start to show us how to embody in a very grounded, practical way a lot of these tools that are going on. Because what we're doing is we are consciously and maybe even unconsciously, we're seeking truth and alignment in our relationships, in our communication, in our own experiences. We are looking at, what is it that who am I? What do I want? What do I need? What's going on? And how come everything makes sense or doesn't make sense, or there's a lot of decisions to make right now? So we have the very low tolerance for things that sort of bug us. Makes sense, right? And we have this clarity which has come in that has been sort of a little startling. Like, wow, I actually know who I am and know what I want to be when I grow up, right? And life is starting to make sense to me, right? And our objectivity is being activated because our observer is like, yeah, there's that over there. This is what I noticed. This is what I noticed. This is what I noticed. And so there's lots and lots of ahas, like, I had no idea that was possible, to, oh no, this really isn't going to work, is it? And every encounter is putting us into choice mode. That makes a lot of sense to me. Our observers open. We have a lot of clarity. We have no tolerance or low tolerance for anything. And we are in full choice mode, which means that, if we go through, and I can't believe I forgot to pull it out. When we look at the way that the energy works, it starts with this aha. Oh, I just got a spark of awareness, right? And then it goes into the feelings of it, how it feels our field. Oh, I'm putting patterns, I'm putting worry, I'm putting joy, I'm putting clarity, I'm putting a lot of things out there. And then you start to ponder it like, I wonder what it means when my body does this. So our mind is activated off of what we're feeling off of what we experienced, and then we start to bring it into form on the physical world, right? Because our physical adaptation is happening. So, whether we get an aha and then we feel it and then we figure out, what does it mean to us and how to align, and then we start to make changes. This is the process that we're going through. So you'll know which one you're at. Are you continually getting these insights, these ahas, or these points of clarity, like, I don't know how much longer I can do this job. So just a little side note, my moment of clarity this week was that I wanted to do extended videos, so that I could do a deeper dive into some of the things that I love to do. And what I realized was that isn't the right time. And I had to do a lot of personal work with that and sort of moving those off the table. So we're back to providing all the tips with you during this video. So thanks for holding on to that one and experimenting with me. It was a good try, right? Because what we want to do here, and I'm going to go back to these two. It seems like these two hold the key to this entire process, because what we want to do is we want to hold ourselves in emotional balance. It's so important to trust your interpretations, to trust your feelings, to create the information based on vibrations, right? And then to discern it with our intellectual process while we're understanding the emotion. So these two are what's going on side by side right now. Yeah, these sparks are coming in, right? These sparks are coming in. And yes, we are going to eventually embody them. However, these are the two that are working, because once we have a kick ass understanding from this perspective of what these emotions are, then we know what to do. Our observer is giving us this information and we're navigating through it, and we're making some changes that are profound. Most, on our personal levels, we haven't done anything like this in a long time. So I love the Hanged Man, because it means that we're in total surrender, looking at what is it that I want to be able to do, because our clarity is our superpower. Our clarity that's come in, and our ability to hold it and surrender to it is how we become. We're in the process of becoming. We're creating a deeper and fuller understanding of ourselves, right? And the life that we created. And what it does is it gives us a better, clearer way for how we show up in our relationships, in our interactions, and our truth. I watched, it was raining yesterday, so I've been watching a few relationship movies, and watching, where the clarity, where they struggle with clarity, and where they can't talk about the real hard things and say, hey, is it working for you too? It isn't working for me. This isn't working. And how to be able to communicate these truths, right? We're better at our parenting, because as we notice and we know who we are and we're in surrender, we're less controlling, we're holding on to our own agendas less with our children. We're better at how we produce, how we do production. How do I want to work? What do I want to do with my free time over the weekends? How do I want to participate in this with a company or with others? And better knowing what we want and what we don't want, right? So I have 5 tips for you. And before we go into the tips, be sure to like and share this if this information is comforting to you, if you feel like it's giving you an idea of why there's this stillness, yet there's this almost intolerance of people, places, and things right now. So pass it along. It helps. Thanks. So 5 tips. First one, right now, keep your observer open, right? Keep your observer open, because what you're doing is you're gathering information. What we're doing is we're saying it, and then you want to acknowledge it. You want to compliment it and validate it and go like, "Oh, okay, I get it. I just saw that. Thank you. I get that." So what happens is that she is starting to say, "Okay, I get what the information is. I now know what to do." Right? So you're navigating. So the first thing is keep your observer open and validate it. Number 2, use your yes or no's. Use your muscle testing, whether it's muscle testing like this, or you use your body as a pendulum. Ask the questions, because what you're looking for is a sense of truth for you. All you know is what you and your field need right now. So, I was getting ready to do my second video and extended video this morning, and every part of me was like, get up and ask. And I was like, boy, if I ask and they say no, then I know it's not going to work, right? But I had to get up and ask, right? Because when I use the body as a pendulum and I muscle test, what happens is it deepens my skill to trust myself and to know what to do. So use yes and no's to support when you're at a loss, when you don't know if what you just saw is accurate or if the information that you're thinking you're going towards is the right thing for you. Muscle test. Number three, this is the time for courage. We have to be completely courageous and we have to say what needs to be said. We need to do what needs to be done. We need to step forward. We need to step away. We need to start making changes based on what our energy and our bodies are telling us to do. So it takes a lot of courage, phenomenal courage, right? Courage to hang in suspension and say, this is what I know is right for me, right? Courage to go, I got to get out there and do what I'm here to do. And the world that I created was perfect up until now, and now I need to do something different, right? Or maybe I just need to deepen it, or maybe I just need to embrace it. I'm not saying it's one or the other; it's all, right? So be courageous. Number four, rest, nourish your body, nourish your soul, be kind to yourself because you're figuring out the old thing, the old life that you created, the new life that you're moving in, and you're having to sort of accommodate where these meet and where they're interacting. And so our bodies are going to be dehydrated, they're going to be tired, we're going to need some rest, we're going to need some peace, we're going to need some walks in nature, we're going to need some quiet. So rest and nourish your body, number four. And number five, have compassion. Have compassion because you're deciding whether to stay or leave. You're deciding what direction to start navigating and turning towards, and so is everybody else. And so you may have a lot of clarity about where you are, yet the person that you're closest to may have their own clarity, which is different than yours. So this is where we have compassion for the ways that each of us as souls are going to navigate forward through this. So that's what I have for you this week. I will see you next Sunday. Be kind to yourself today. If you have the day off tomorrow, make sure you get outside and take care of yourself too. And I will see you next week. Thank you very much. Bye.